Hello and good morning again. Beautiful Sunday morning. Oh my goodness. I know you guys are probably saying, damn, every morning she say it's a beautiful morning. Yes, I can say that because it is. I woke up this morning. Thank God for giving me that, the strength and everything to get up and be able to come outside and say, thank you for the beautiful morning, the beautiful day, the sunlight. Oh my God, I'm breathing. Another day, I'm breathing. No aches and pains. Yes, I was in and out the bathroom because I use, you know, the fiber stuff. Damn, the prune juice. I always make sure I clean myself out. So, I try to drink me some prune juice so I can keep my tummy intact. You know what I'm saying? People, you have to do that. You have to do that. I don't mean to sound so dirty in the morning, but that's not being dirty. It's cleaning yourself out. Yeah, so last night, my ex supervisor, we keep in contact. He lives in North Carolina. He moved from New York and he lives there now, him and his aunt. And yeah, we always stay in contact. There are several of my ex co-workers that I stay in contact with also. But yeah, he called me and we had a nice conversation and stuff like that. And he was telling me his story, I guess part of it is like part of the reason why he had moved, because he retired and he wasn't sure where he was going to move to. But when this happened, he decided to move to North Carolina. Anyway, he was telling me about his sister. She lived in Long Island. He used to live over there with her. And, he said his sister passed away. He was like, I'm going to tell you, my sister passed away last year in August. So I was like, sister. Then he was like, the one I was living with in Long Island. Well, to make a long story short, she passed away. She had, a lot of health issues and stuff that he didn't know about. But, when someone passed away, you're not aware of them being sick or nothing like that. It comes as a big surprise, especially your own sibling. Well, he he told his he told her son. He said she had 8 kids, and he said he told her son to call 911, and the son was like freaking out. He's like in his 40s, but he is disabled. Anyway, he was freaking out, and he just told him again to call 911. Then I think he had to do it himself. So he said, all these years, we always took classes. It was mandatory, we had to take classes for life saving, like the Heimlich maneuver and CPR. We had to do that. And all these years, neither him or I, we never really had to perform it on anyone. So he said, Jen, all these years, I've been taking them classes. I never did CPR on anyone. And here it is now. I'm doing CPR on my own sister. So then he said when the cops came, somebody tapped him on his shoulder and told him, okay, I'll take over now. So, you know, that was his story. Anyway, they went to the hospital and all that, so that was his story. And the reason why I'm talking about this now is because, I woke up this morning and I had this feeling of like fear. I don't know why. I don't know what's going to happen or whatever, but I just had this feeling of fear. I went back to sleep and I woke up and, it eased away a little. It's not in me now, it's gone. But I decided I need to make my video on that topic and tell my story. I told y'all I have a lot of stories. Well, last night, me and Skylar, my granddaughter, we always have granny time, She always come downstairs and, she will always crawl up near to me, we chat, we be chatting and talking and stuff, I tell her a lot of my stories and she be cracking up and stuff like that. Now these are real stories, they not fake, but to her, she's always laughing. She's just one of them happy, jolly people, she's a Scorpio, she's something else. And after he told me his story, I was feeding Mr. Hustle this morning, a little while ago. So I thought of this. This happened to Skylar when Skylar was like, I believe she was 3 or 4 years old. You see, Skylar used to come over to my house. I had lived on Nostrand Avenue, that's between Glenwood and Farragut. I had a 2-bedroom apartment. And her mom, and her dad, they had lived in Long Island. So, I always used to tell my daughter, anytime you feel like you want to have a break or whatever, you can bring the kid over. You could bring Skylar over. Paige wasn't thought of yet. So she always said, Ma, no. And I was like, no, you can. I don't have a problem with that. Because I always had this thing in my head that I was going to pass away before them. So I always wanted to spend all the time I could with my daughter and my grandkid in case that time comes. I still feel that way up to this day. Not many grandmothers think like that or whatever, but I do. Not many grandparents. Anyway, Skylar came over, her dad brought her. And, she had on her cute little dress, and she always had her little cute little legs and stuff like that, She was always a cute little kid. Still beautiful up to this day. So I took her out. We went over on Flatbush, to this discount store. I had to get something. I don't remember what it was, but I took her out to the store and she wanted some gummy candy. So she ran out of my hand and she went over and she picked up the gummy candy. I never really paid any attention to gummy candy, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking that she was gonna choke on it or nothing like that. Well, the strangest thing is, she opened up the little bag and she started chewing on a piece of the candy. There were a lot of people in the store. I wasn't even aware that there was so much people in the store until this happened. All of a sudden, Skylar started coughing and jumping around and fidgeting around, and then her eyes started turning, and oh my God, it was so traumatizing. I said, oh my God, I cannot let this little girl die. I cannot. let her choke, her mom is going to kill me. I cannot make this little baby back to give her mother and her father. Jesus. So you know what I did? They always say when something happens, like something happened really fast, you don't think, you just act. Well, believe it or not, that is so true. That is so true. I picked up that little girl, Skylar, and I started doing the Heimlich maneuver on her. That's right. All these years I've been taking this training and stuff like that, CPR, doing it on those little baby dummies and doing it on the grown-up dummies. And here it is now, I'm doing the Heimlich maneuver. And the Heimlich maneuver is what you do on kids. Oh my God, I was just doing this thing. I always passed the class, but I never actually thought that I would remember that stuff. I picked that little girl up and I was doing the do. Do you know that little gummy bear came flying out of her mouth? Saliva was flying all behind it, all over the place. And I felt a great relief when that happened, but I was angry. All these people flocked around me. They were flocking around me because, you know, they saw when she was like in the first stages, the coughing and all of that kind of stuff. So people was just gathering around us. Someone said, call the police, call. I was like, just get away, get out of the way, get out of the way. I was so angry, I was so upset. I had to save this little girl's life. So I did the do. People was just standing around, just looking, saying, oh my God, you know, all this kind of stuff. Even the cashiers, everybody came and they were all surrounding me. That's how I knew how much people was in the store. After that happened, I took the bag of candy from Skylar. I threw it away. And I said, you are never going to eat these kind of candies ever again. No more gummy candies for you. None. You're lucky if I even give you regular candy. And then, you know, she was back to normal. And she said, yes, Grandma. And then what I did, I didn't even go pay for the stuff that I wanted, that I went there to actually buy. I just put it back also. That's how this stuff turned my mind. So I took her hand and I walked her out the store. And then we had a little chat while we were walking. And, you know, I was telling her about gummy bears and stuff like that. And I was like, you know, those things I never really cared for because, you know, they say they're gummy bears. They are chewy and stuff. And I never really liked those things. I never, ever really liked those things. So I said to her, you know, I didn't mean to be like so rough with you, but I was so freaking scared. I didn't want nothing to happen to you. Nothing. I didn't want you to choke. I didn't want you to die. I didn't want anything to happen to you. And the worst thing about it, I was watching you. Do you know how bad that would have hurted me? Knowing that you were in my care and I let something like that happen to you? Your mother and your father would never ever speak to me again. They probably would have killed me. I think that's like one of the scariest moments in my life. I swear to God, one of the scariest moments, because I never experienced nothing like that before. But what was so good is I remembered how to do the Heimlich maneuver, even though I never actually practiced it on a human being, on a real person. And I was so proud of myself doing that. So proud of myself. Because, you know, sometimes you take classes and stuff for your job and stuff like that, and you don't never get a chance to perform them on real people. And I was so freaking proud of myself. I wasn't jumping around or happy and all of that, but I took a look at myself and I was like so freaking proud of myself. Seriously. So, people, be careful of those gummy bears and stuff like that. Giving them to your kids. I know they have a lot of gummy vitamins and all that kind of crap. Be careful of giving your kids those things, especially little kids, because they could chew in that stuff and accidentally swallow it and it could choke them because they throat. I was reading some time back. It's like this little, it's like, well, that's the tip of my nail, but it's like the size of the tip of my finger, that little hole where food go down, and that's not very big. So anything could lodge in there and the person could die instantly. They could choke or they could die instantly. If you don't react fast, you could say goodbye to that person, whether it's a child or a grown-up. So be careful of giving your kids gummy bears or anything like that. And another thing, popcorn. Be careful of letting little kids eat popcorn. That's another one. This is also in New York. I was watching the TV one day and the news came on. It was about this lady and her little kid. And the kid wasn't even fully a year old. She lived in the shelter and she decided that day to take the kid to see a movie. Sometimes you need to get up and get out. You can't just sit around the shelter and be doing nothing. So I guess she wanted to treat it was a little girl, I believe. She wanted to treat her little kid to the movies. So the kid, and the boyfriend, father, whoever he was, they went to the movies. They went to the theater. They were inside, they bought popcorn and stuff like that. So they were sitting down, I guess getting ready to watch the movie. The little kid was eating on the popcorn. Believe it or not, a piece of the popcorn lodged right in the throat of this little kid, this little baby. Lodged right in there. I just told you the hole is like this big. It's not really big. And the little kid actually died. This is real true. This is true. The little baby died. They showed her on the news. She was devastated. She was crying. She was hollering. So people, do not give kids popcorn, gummy bears, none of those things. Be careful of what you give little kids. Even peanuts. Peanuts can choke a little kid too. Peanuts. That little peanut, it can lodge in the throat and choke the little kid. And little kids don't just take one at a time and chew it. Take their time and chew it. They grab a whole handful and they put it in their mouth. And while they're doing that, one or two could just slip through. And there you go with the problem. So be aware of those things. There are other things that you shouldn't give little kids either. But there's so many things out there that I can't even name at this moment. But be careful and watch your kids. Look and see what they're putting in their mouths. Look and see what they're eating. And be aware of those gummy bears. I don't even know why they came out with those things in the first place. And now everywhere you go, they have them. They have them in vitamin form for grown-ups, for kids. I don't know what manufacturer thought of making those things, but those things are dangerous. They are dangerous. They need to take them off the market seriously. But who am I? I'm just a little person. I just know that I won't be giving no little kid those things. And I don't even like to eat gummy bears. I'm not even into none of that anyway. You know what I'm saying? And if you have dentures and stuff like that, they stick to your teeth. You have fillings, they stick to your teeth. They could pull your filling out, pull your dentures out. So I don't really like them, so I don't mess with them. Yeah, so Mr. Hustle, he just used the bathroom. He didn't really do much. It's at the corner. I'll pick it up when I walk back that side. But here he is. And it's a peaceful Sunday, as you can see. Someone is right here by the pool. And I don't feel that that feeling that I had this morning. I don't feel it anymore. It's gone. I feel great now. After making this video and talking about that, I feel really wonderful. I feel great. So, I don't know what we're going to do today. We have to go get some juice and stuff. Like I said, my daughter's coming in for Thanksgiving. We don't know exactly what day. I know she's going to go to the grocery store, but maybe today, because Skylar is off. So I think she's off. Today's laundry day. So when I go back into the house, I'm going to do my laundry. I'm going to do the laundry. I do everybody's laundry on Sunday. No, I'm not the maid, but I'm here, so I do it. And yeah, then I'll watch a little YouTube and stuff like that. I just made my concoction of my lemon with the garlic and the cayenne pepper and a little water. So I drank some of it. I'll finish that when I go back in. And yeah, the tangerines that I got from the market, oh my God, they weren't even sweet. I cut like 3 last night, and they are tiny. The 3 I ate wasn't even sweet. I don't know if the others are sweet, but I'll work with them. Yeah, I have a lot left. The apples, oh my God, the apples were so sweet. I had last night, I guess what I had for dinner? I had a piece of chicken and curry chicken, grilled curry chicken. And I sliced up 2 apples and I ate that. That was my dinner. And I had a little grape juice. That was so good. It was so refreshing. It was so good. My mind, I'm always thinking up different things, different ways to eat, different things to make. So that is what my creation was, and it tasted so good. I was thinking of putting a little cheese on top of the apples and put it in the microwave so it could melt. But then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I didn't feel like doing it. It was an idea, but it tasted just good the way how I had it, and it was very enjoyable. And of course, I used the prune juice this morning, so I guess half of it came out, which is good because you got to clean out your tummy and stuff like that. You can't let all that food lodge up in there. Then your stomach get all big and all this kind of stuff. Then you can't hardly walk around, stuff like that. So you got to ease yourself at times. You have to. So yeah, I'm supposed to go visit my ex-supervisor one of these days. He invited me. Not last night. He been told me about it, So I told him, as soon as my daughter is back home, I'll take the trip, I'll take the trip down there. He was telling me how beautiful it is and that place where he's living at. And he was telling me about the airport, I can't remember the name, Greensville Airport. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But he said it's one of the nicest airport that he ever been to. He said it's so quiet and it's clean. And each time he take it and he comes back, You know, the workers, everyone is always saying, "Welcome home, Mr. Thompson." You know, they are giving him this real greeting like he's some big time celebrity or something. I think that is so wonderful. That is so sweet. Because these days, when you go to the airport, people don't have time to be telling you, have a safe trip or welcome home and stuff like that. You know, people are busy trying to get to where they're going and all this kind of stuff, or trying to sneak stuff in, sneak stuff in on the plane, or, you know, so they are just trying to do that where they don't get caught and all this kind of stuff, you know. So, what can I say? What can I say? Yeah. So, yeah, that's my daughter's neighbor right there, the veteran. I think he said he did like 7 or 8 years. He didn't retire. He works at the post office. He's Puerto Rican. Yeah, you know, he just waved. That's the one that I said he had two Frenchies and they both died. Yeah. And I do think that probably was his wife and the daughter that went over there just now because they were waving at me. But her hairstyle was different and she was wearing sunglasses. Yeah. Because, you know, you don't really see too many people around here, but you know they're friendly and stuff. People speak, they wave and stuff. Cause you know some places you go, people do not speak. I don't know what's wrong with people. They don't. I was raised up in Barbados. Excuse me, and you know we always say good morning, Mister This, Mrs. That. We don't call people by their first name. It was always by the last name. You know, respect. And it didn't matter what time of the day it was, you always spoke. But here in America, you don't find that all the time. You really don't, especially up in New York City. Oh my God. You might find a few people that say good morning or good evening or good night, but not really. Not really. And down here in Florida, oh my God, people, it doesn't matter what nationality they are, people actually speak to you. They speak to you Caucasian, Spanish, Chinese. Well, some of the Chinese don't really speak, you know, but the ones that I run into, they always nod their head at me and smile, and then they go about their business. If I go into their store, you know, they would say good morning or good afternoon or whatever, you know. I never really met a grumpy one before. In New York, I met a lot of them that was like really, really, really grumpy and stuff. And you know, I met Koreans and stuff. I met a lot of Koreans in New York, you know, and some of them, you know, they think that you're gonna steal their stuff, so you know they be like hawking you. They don't even give you time to walk around and pick up what you need to pick up. They be just following you around and they be speaking their language, la la la, or whatever. Because one time I was on Church Avenue, close to Utica Avenue, and I was walking by with my daughter, and they had a Chinese vegetable stand. But these people, no, a Korean vegetable stand. They do have Chinese vegetable stand too, but these people were Korean. And oh my God, the man, he was so rude. I got this plastic bag, you know, that's to put the fruits in. So I picked up, I think it was three or four tangerines. This man was right on my behind. He was right behind me. He followed me and he's watching me and stuff, but I wasn't paying no attention to him. You know, I'm holding my daughter's hand and she noticed what was going on. So when I did actually realize what was going on, he started speaking in his language, and you know, I'm trying to pick out what I need. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go to the market and just grab the first fruit. You look at them and then you pick out what you need. So I was doing that, and he was pissed off. He was talking in his language and he was getting louder and louder. I got so freaking pissed off. I said, you know what? I don't want your daggone fruit. So I threw the bag right on the table. And the man was like rushing up to me like he was gonna hit me. I said, yeah, come on. You got the right one, buddy. You got the right one. Come over here to me. Come up in my face with that mess. You'll see how I lay you out on this daggone floor. And then my daughter, she got scared, so she grabbed me. She was like, Mom, come on, please, please, please don't fight. I said, I don't know who he think he is. He not gonna F me up and think that he gonna get away with it. I don't have time for people and their BS. And yeah, in New York, a lot of them is like that. The Chinese too. They are like that. And it's downright rude. It's rude. When people go around to the stores and they're trying to buy vegetables or clothes or whatever, give a person a chance to actually shop around, look around. Do not rush the people. And another thing I hate when you go into the department stores or those regular little stores, you see, especially over there in Flatbush and Church, or any kind of department store. I hate when the salespeople, they follow you around in the store. Can I help you? Can I help you? Yeah, I know that's your job to ask, but damn, you people be hawking the person. You don't give the person a chance to actually look at what they want to get. And then you go call yourself picking up stuff and bringing to the customer. Stop doing that shit. Excuse me for cursing. Let the person be free to walk around and pick out what they want. Seriously, I hate that. It's so rude. And another thing, you go into these stores, they look at the way you're dressed. And if you are not dressed a certain way, they treat you different. Very different. Why is that? I could look bummy and stuff and be the richest woman out there. You don't know that. I could be a movie star or whatever. You don't know that. I saw a movie like that before with Selena. Jennifer Lopez was playing the role of Selena. And a lot of these people did not know who she was. And she and her sister, they went into this store. They were looking for dresses for a dress or something. And the store was a very expensive store. So the sales lady came over to her and told her, she said, you can't afford that. And Selena looked at her, and I guess her sister knew how she was going to react. So the sister was telling her to come on, let's go. So she was trying to tell her sister, no, she can't do that. That's not right. But anyway, they left. She came back into that store another day, and she picked out the dress. Now, a lot of people already got to know who she was, because she was getting big time now with her music. But this same lady apparently didn't know who she was. So the lady was looking at her. The lady came over to her. So when she got the dress, she tried it on, and she paid for it. But before she paid for it, as soon as she walked in the store, a lot of the people, I guess fans, they recognized her. So they were running up to her, calling to her and stuff like that. She walked right past that lady. And no, she didn't buy the dress. She walked past the lady, and she looked at her and she said, I can't afford it, huh? Something like that. And then she just walked out the store. She didn't even buy it. She didn't even buy it. And the lady had looked so stupid. She just stood there and held her head down. So you see, you can't judge a book by its cover. Just because somebody is not wearing some name brand outfit or anything like that doesn't mean that they don't have money. They can't afford to shop in the store. You shouldn't be like that. And this is to all them salespeople out there. For real. And this is not just with clothes. This is with anything. House, whatever. Just because a person look a certain way doesn't mean that they don't have money. They can't afford the stuff. You people are very ignorant. And the thing about it, these people make more money than you because you're just a little bitty salesperson. So people, take a note from that. Take a note from everything I just said in this video and practice it. And make sure you don't give your little kids popcorn, peanuts, gummy bears especially. None of those things. Be for real. Safety comes first. Safety, safety, safety. So this is JU-I saying, have a wonderful Sunday, and I will chat with you another time. And while you're at it, watch this video. Peace out.